Hello, good morning. Today we will discuss the continuation part of the muscles of the mouth. In that we will discuss buccinator muscle. The buccinator muscle, it is a quadrilateral thin muscle which arises from the alveolar process of the maxilla and mandible corresponding to the molar teeth, and it is separated from the superior constrictor muscle behind by the pterygomandibular raphe. We can see behind the buccinator muscle there is a pterygomandibular raphe which separated from the superior constrictor muscle. We can also see there is a superior constrictor muscle, superior constrictor of the pharynx muscle. And now we will discuss the fibers of the buccinator muscles. We can see in this diagram the upper fibers which have the uppermost fibers and the central fibers also. And now coming to the lower part, also there is a central part of the fibers and lowermost fibers. The key point we have to remember in this buccinator fibers are the central fibers of the buccinator muscle which intersect each other and joins the opposite side of the orbicularis oris muscle. It means the central portion of the upper part joins the lower part of the orbicularis oris muscle, and lower part of the central fibers which joins the upper part of the orbicularis oris muscle, and the uppermost and lowermost portion which without intersection they join, uppermost portion joins the upper part of the orbicularis oris and lowermost portion joins the lower part of the orbicularis oris muscle. This is regarding the fibers of the buccinator muscle. And now coming to the relation of the buccinator muscle. The posteriorly it is related to the pterygomandibular raphe, and anteriorly it joins the orbicularis oris muscle. Superiorly it is arises from that alveolar process of the maxilla, and inferiorly from the alveolar process of the mandible. And the buccal fat pad is laterally related to the buccinator muscle, and the parotid duct also pierces the buccinator muscles around the second or first molar teeth. And the pterygomandibular raphe which is attached to the one side to the mylohyoid line of the mandible and another side to the hamulus of the medial pterygoid plate, and anteriorly it is attached to the buccinator muscle and posteriorly it is attached to the superior constrictor of the pharynx muscle. Now coming to the orbicularis oris muscle, which the several muscles inserted into this orbicularis oris muscle. As I earlierly discussed, the buccinator fibers, just superior to this buccinator fibers, the caninus muscle and triangularis muscles also inserted into the orbicularis oris muscle. The fibers from the caninus muscle which inserted into the lower part of the angle of the orbicularis oris, and the triangularis muscle, fibers from the triangularis muscle which inserted into the upper part of the angle of the orbicularis oris muscles. Apart from this, superiorly the quadratus labii superioris attaches to the or joins to the orbicularis oris muscle, and at the lower part the depressor labii inferioris and mentalis, and these muscles attached to the lower part of the orbicularis oris muscle, and the incisivus labii superioris muscle which have two bands, medial and lateral bands. The medial band connected to the septum of the nose, and the lateral band which connect to the maxilla to the upper lip. And inferior labii incisors or incisors labii inferiores, which connects the mandible to the lip, lower lip, and the risorius muscle, which arises from the fascia over the masseter muscle, which the fibers runs horizontally at the angle of the mouth, which is superficial to the platysma muscle. Now coming to the action of the buccinator muscle, which compress the cheek against the teeth to maintain the food and pulls the corner of the mouth to the sideways to aid in the action of the whistling, sucking and smiling. Now coming to the action of the risorius muscle, which pulls the angle of the mouth laterally or outwards. Action of the orbicularis oris muscle, which the deep fibers act as the sphincter, and the superficial fibers which act as the fine actions like speech and mastication and lip movements. Thank you.